So it's double day 5 of the fast. It's the fifth day that I've been breaking the fast and getting back into regular food. And I also want to go back and talk about how day 5 of the fast went. Day 5 was a full week ago, and I don't remember the details other than that I recall it was a mediocre day. So I'm just going to use this time to talk about a few aspects of my fasting experience that I haven't talked about all that much yet. One of them is sleep. Prior to the fast, I had a lot of problems with sleep. I've been taking many supplements. Backtrack a little bit more. The last 4 years, ever since I turned about 40, all of a sudden my sleep at night took a huge dive, something I never thought would happen to me because I am a heavy sleeper. I always was. I struggled with depression many of the years. So from my teenage years on through my 20s, even into my 30s, I would sleep 12 hours if I could. I mean, not as much so much in my 30s. As a parent, you can't really do that. But my body would love to sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. So for me to all of a sudden have trouble falling asleep and then wake up in the middle of the night and then wake up and not be able to fall back asleep again, I heard of this happening to women as they get older, but I never really believed it was going to happen to me, but it totally did. So I was on a journey. I talked to a holistic doctor. I started taking progesterone cream. Then I ended up at the regular doctor and I got on some prescriptions, but I didn't like those. So then I ended up talking to a functional medicine doctor who I do see now twice a year. And we've worked on some things with supplements. So normally to fall asleep at night, I am used to taking calcium, magnesium gluconate, and melatonin at a minimum. Lately, I've been taking a nice new one called Insomnitol that has a blend of sleep aids in it, herbal sleep aids, including valerian root, in addition to melatonin and some other things. I take all four of these supplements every night. I don't expect to sleep if I don't. And then if I haven't slept well for a couple of nights in a row, then I'll take my prescription. I have a tiny little bit of hydroxyzine that I can take that will definitely make me sleep, but it will also make me groggy and I can't wake up very well the next morning. So my sleep has been, it sounds terrible, but it's actually been in the best condition it's been for several years. I've gotten to a place where I'm not waking up every night stressed out. So that's an improvement. For this fast, I was a little bit nervous about quitting all of that stuff. I thought, I'm going to go to bed hungry. There's no way I'm going to sleep like this. Well, surprise, the first 3 nights of the fast, I slept very, very well. I was super shocked and very pleased about it. I have had no trouble at all falling asleep any of the nights in these past however many days it's been since I started. I did start waking up in the middle of the night. I think it was around day 4, but I attribute it to that super dry feeling I had in my mouth and in my throat. Like I put my finger on my tongue in the back of my throat and it felt like sandpaper, my whole mouth. It felt like there was a reptile back there. I have never felt myself so dry and still haven't gotten completely to the bottom of why that happened and what I should have done differently. Although moving a humidifier into my room sooner certainly would have been a smart idea. And I have been feeling better since I did that, but I've also been eating some food since I brought in the humidifier. So I can't tell which one is giving the result. Also with sleep though, I've had the first few nights, again, no problems at all, beautiful sleep. After that though, I did start waking up some, like I said, because of the dry mouth and throat that like made me feel like I was choking, couldn't breathe, and I had to wake up. Now, I don't know if I would have woke up or not anyway if I didn't have that problem. But when I woke up, I had a little bit of stress when I started eating again. Not too much when I was totally water fasting. And I was able to fall back asleep pretty quickly, reasonably well. What was weird though was I had a ton of stress dreams, all kinds of bizarre scenario dreams, especially the longer I slept, the closer to waking up in the morning, where I don't remember them all. Fortunately, most of them I did remember at least the next morning, but they're not with me now, so I'm glad for that. They weren't horror dreams. I wasn't being chased by something. I wasn't afraid for my life. They weren't gory, that kind of terrifying dream, but all kinds of very odd. I do remember a couple now. There were strange creatures that my mind imagined. They were supposed to be animals, but they don't really look like any animals we know. And they weren't coming at me to kill me, but they were definitely creeping me out. And they were located in normal places in life where they shouldn't be located. And I had a dream about a terrible financial crash for my parents and the trickle down effect on the whole family and watching them suffer with some bizarre financial situation. So, a lot of just, like I say, stress dreams, situations that we normally have in life, but there was a twist. And it kind of felt like I wasn't sure what I was going to do and how I was going to get out of those situations. So I wasn't really crazy about that. But in a lot of cases, I would wake up from the dream and then realize I just need to wake up anyway. And that's how I would get away from those. So my thoughts on sleep are my sleep improved tremendously. So far, I have not resumed taking any of my nighttime supplements or herbal things or anything yet, minerals or herbal supplements. And I'm still falling asleep okay, and I'm still staying asleep okay. Now that the dry mouth is going down, I'm not waking up much at night. It's really some of the best sleep I've had in a long time. So I'm really happy about that. So I want to talk about daytime state of mind. I was told that I was going to have a really clear mind, and I found that to be true and not true. So how it was true was that I enjoyed a sense of peace throughout my days that I don't know as I have ever experienced that I can remember for a long, long time. Normally, I go about my day with a sense of pressure and overwhelm. It's pretty normal for me. I feel basically overwhelmed by the basic requirements of life. I have a list of things to do for myself every day. I have like all my household chores broken down into small bits so I can do some each day. I've got my homeschooling routine, a time to exercise, time for private devotional time with the Lord, time to cook and to meal plan, and of course a little bit of time gets used up sometimes talking to friends on the phone or going to a church function or going to the store. And after that, I have no room left. In fact, I marvel, I have no idea how people have hobbies. I really don't. I have no idea how people have time to watch television and movies. Like, yeah, sure, I sneak in some YouTube, some little stuff on my phone here and there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that happens. But it's not like a conscious decision where I say, I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna watch something for half an hour. Most of what I watch, I'm watching while I'm doing something, like while I'm in the kitchen. I also have on an audiobook, or I also have on something I want to watch, whatever. I never really feel like I get enough done. I never really feel like I'm good enough. I don't have a lot of energy. I never have. I know that it's super important that I take care of myself. When I take care of myself, I do feel a lot better, but it's a daily commitment, and I'm not able to take care of myself the same every day. So then I feel guilty that I didn't take care of myself. But if I did, then I feel guilty that I took too much time for myself, that I spent an hour reading the Bible and my books in the morning, and then a half an hour working out. That was a whole hour and a half for myself. I know a whole lot of moms and women who do not get that kind of time. So then I think, well, I should just be in super shape because I did that, but I'm not in super shape. Anyway, during the fast, I had none of that. And I can't overemphasize how huge that was for me and how surprised I was that that had happened. I will attribute it, if I had to guess. I'm kind of stuttering over my words. That's been one thing. I've had a little brain fog today, and I've been saying words wrong all day. And I still have phlegm, and my throat is still dry. I had trouble singing in church yesterday, so my speaking skills are not totally up to par right now. But anyway, I will attribute the clear mind to, I'm just going to say, let's give the glory to God first and foremost. I believe He was blessing my efforts. Number two, I think it was because I had the mindset where I gave myself some grace in the forefront of it. I said, hey, this is going to be kind of a rough time. I don't expect myself to live up to the full mental or physical, goal achievement that I would expect out of myself on a normal day. I have permission to slow down. I have permission to rest. I have a to-do list and a can-do attitude, but if I don't get it all done, that is okay, and my family knows it's okay. What I found ended up happening, and then the third thing is I just think there's a physiological effect that must happen when you're fasting. It's just part of the process on the body. So what ended up happening was I ended up achieving almost as much each day as I would on a normal day. Maybe not quite, but it was close. Even though I said I could rest anytime I needed, I didn't actually need to rest quite as much as I expected I would have to. I pretty much kept going. I just moved slower. Most everything I did was slower, but I kept moving and I kept doing things. And then I found out that I gained an enormous amount of time by not eating, by not sitting down and eating breakfast, lunch, or supper, or snacking. Just freed up a lot of time. Now, I did sit down with my family here and there so I could be dining with them and sharing that social time together, but I didn't for all the meals. Most of the meals, I actually just kept working. I was in the kitchen, cleaning up, doing things, whatever. And so I gained a lot of time. It was really like a feeling of floating. I felt like I was just floating through my day, and everything I did was fine with me. Making decisions about what am I going to do next was a easy, stress-free decision-making process. I saw something I wanted to do, I did it, and I didn't feel bad that I was doing that and not something else. I didn't feel bad that I wasn't doing it fast enough. Then I would see something else I wanted to do and I would do that. Then I would look back at my list and I would do that. And the Lord helped me. I didn't need a lot of breaks. I just kept going. So that was really phenomenal for me. Yesterday, let's just say, let's cover what I've been doing for food. So we're talking about day 5 here. Day 5, last night, I want to forget that. I want to go back to the sleep for a second. There was another real benefit in the whole mind fog, brain fog thing. Okay, so at night, in the past when I have woken up, I have either laid in bed ruminating and stressing and dealing with terrible feelings of guilt and fear for the future and all kinds of things, and just hoping I would fall back asleep and trying to pray my way through it. Or I would just give up, get out my phone, put the light on my eyes, knowing that I'm going to wake myself up and I'm messing up my sleep even more. And I would just sit and play on my phone, whether it was a word game or whatever, for sometimes as much as 3 hours in the middle of the night and go back to sleep. I have books and a flashlight next to me, and I know that that's the healthier choice. But just being real here, that's not necessarily what I would gravitate toward. During the fast, however, I did not have much desire to look at my phone before bed or during the night. It was like my eyes just wanted a rest. I didn't want to process what was on the phone, and I didn't want that light in my eyes. So one of the nights when I did wake up and I was up for an hour, and then I fell back asleep after that, I actually read my Bible. And I'm proud of that, but yet I don't want to sound pious like, oh, I read my Bible for an hour in the middle of the night, because I know there are many people who would just do that automatically. That's their go-to. But for me, it's not. Yet during this process, that was the thing that was the most appealing to me. So I was really happy that I had that desire to just turn on my red light flashlight and read my Bible. My prayer life was better during the fast. I sought God. I really tried to use it as an opportunity to look for God and find Him and connect with Him. I prayed a lot for other people in detail. I tried to avoid praying in ways that might be like old habits that I've gotten into. I tried to be more fresh and more thoughtful, more mindful of it. Reading was interesting though. Normally I am a good reader and I have no trouble reading. I read almost exclusively nonfiction. I like to read the Bible, and I like to read things about the Bible study type books that expound on it. I like self-help advice, parenting advice, science, health, diet, history, social issues, medical issues. I like to read about those things. But during this fast, that was very unappealing to me. There were many times I picked up my stuff and I tried to read, and I ended up getting frustrated and putting it down because I was reading the same sentence over and over. It just felt too taxing. I was a little disappointed because I thought since I was taking it a notch down, I could read more, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. So my thoughts were clear. I could make simple decisions around the house with total peace and clarity, and that was awesome. I could connect with God well, but the reading part was not so great. I'm going to quit there because this video is getting long, and whatever I missed, I'll make in the next video. Thanks for watching. God bless.